In a quiet riverside village, where the breeze carried the smell of wet earth and the river sang softly to itself, lived an elderly woman named Amira. She was known to the villagers as the Lantern Woman, because every evening, without fail, she would light a lantern and hang it on the old wooden fence outside her small home. Her house was nothing more than a modest clay hut with a thatched roof, one creaky chair, and a single clay pot of water. She had no family left. Her husband had passed away decades ago, and her only daughter had gone to the city for work and never returned. People often whispered, "How does she smile like that when she has nothing?" Amira's eyes sparkled with the warmth of someone who had lived through storms and chosen peace. Her smile was like a lantern itself, soft, steady, and impossible to extinguish. One summer, a young man named Aarav came to the village. He was only 22 but carried the heaviness of someone twice his age. Life had been cruel. He had failed his university exams, lost his job, and felt betrayed by friends he once trusted. Each day he walked aimlessly through the village, shoulders slumped, his heart full of anger and sorrow. One evening, Aarav noticed the glowing lantern outside Amira's house. Intrigued, he stopped and watched as the old woman carefully lit it, humming a soft tune. She looked up, saw him, and smiled. "You look troubled, son," she said in a gentle voice. "Come, sit with me. The evening is kinder when shared." Aarav hesitated but eventually sat on the worn wooden step. "Why do you hang that lantern every night?" he asked bitterly. "You live alone. No one is coming for you." Amira chuckled softly, her voice carrying the wisdom of decades. "That lantern is not for someone to come to me. It's to remind me that even in darkness, I can choose to bring light." Aarav frowned. "But aren't you lonely? Aren't you angry? Life has taken so much from you." The old woman looked up at the evening sky, now painted with shades of orange and purple. "I was angry once. Lonely too. I spent years waiting for someone to rescue me from my pain. But peace doesn't arrive like a guest. You have to invite it in." She motioned for him to sit closer and whispered, "Let me tell you something. When I was your age, I had everything: love, a family, dreams. But one winter, my husband fell gravely ill. There was no hospital nearby, and I had no money for help. He died holding my hand, telling me, 'Keep smiling, Amira. Life isn't meant to break you.' I lived on for my daughter. I worked as a washerwoman, cleaned homes, did whatever I could to give her a better life. Years later, she left for the city. At first, she wrote letters. Then they stopped. One day, I stood outside her home, saw her with her new family, and quietly turned away. I chose not to burden her with my loneliness." Aarav's eyes widened. "But doesn't that hurt? How can you not be bitter?" Amira smiled, her lantern flickering beside them. "Because bitterness is a poison I refuse to drink. I learned 3 lessons that saved me." She held up a finger. "First, accept what you cannot change. Life doesn't always give back what it takes, but we can choose peace over pain." She raised a second finger. "Second, be grateful. I have little, but I have this river, this tree, this lantern, and a heart that still feels." And then a third. "Third, give more than you take. I have nothing to give but smiles, kind words, and a little food for birds. But giving reminds me that I still matter." The wind rustled the trees as Aarav sat quietly, tears welling in his eyes. For the first time in months, he felt something loosen in his chest, a flicker of hope. From that day, Aarav visited Amira every evening. He began to help her with chores, light the lantern, and listen to her stories. Slowly, he found the courage to start again, studying, working, and even helping other villagers. Amira's wisdom spread through the village like ripples on water. People came to her not because she had riches, but because she carried peace. And every evening, as the lantern glowed against the dark sky, Aarav understood her secret. Happiness is not found in perfect circumstances but in choosing light over darkness, even when life feels unbearable.